Thank you. All right. So, right now, this is an excellent match. This could be a round of 4 match pretty easily. But I believe, where are we? A round of 8 right now? We have Trigger in the bottom left. We have Solar in the top right. Okay. Solar going to go ahead, get that hatchery down just before this probe can come up to block. Very nicely done. And Trigger just going to go ahead and continue to scout here. Now, these two have a fun style to go against each other. Solar's best plays are pretty aggressive, and Trigger is almost always a very defensive, macro-oriented player. So, yeah, let's see how this is going to go down. What Trigger wants to end up going with here. There's a big range of plays that he can do. I think his Blink Stalker stuff is generally his best. Of course, PVZ could be in for a long one. You know, if it's creator playing, you know it's pretty much going to be long because he's the best Sky Toss player in the world. Trigger's pretty good at Sky Toss. Wouldn't mind seeing him get into that at some point. All right, so Stargate on the way. Now we know what's going on. You have to wait till after that Cybernetic score to really know. Should be Adept Oracle play here from Trigger. Some harassment with that. Trying to do some good scouting and reduce that drone count a little bit. It looks like Solar lets the probe go. Doesn't want an Adept to come up out of nowhere and wreck his Lings, I think. So pulls them back for now. And... well, we gotta wait for the Oracle and see what type of damage it can get done. Obviously, every Zerg in the world has played against this so many times at this point. This is kind of the opener for PvZ.
PvZ is the hardest matchup.
Yeah, that's what Protoss players will tell you. They have one normal matchup and 2 easy matchups. Oh, it must be the hardest matchup because it feels so much harder than our free matchups. Super sick. Super sick. So looks like Trigger getting ready to take this 3rd base. I am interested to see. I think he's going to probably go into Blink after this. You know, that's kind of the big follow-up that we see a lot, like a Twilight and Forge and Robo coming up. And, you know, I mean, you can go straight Sky Toss from here, but that is not very popular. Kind of interesting harassment here. Focuses down some larva, which, I mean, that is somewhat impactful, right? Like that could have been a drone that would be made. Like, it doesn't cost a Zerg money, but it does cost a Zerg larva in time. And larva is an additional resource in a lot of ways for Zerg. I think that's a useful way to think about it. Zerg, you know, Terran and Protoss have 2 resources, minerals and gas. Zerg have 4, minerals, gas, creep, and larva. And you wanna max those all out as much as you possibly can. So it looks like the Oracle will end up falling. Only got 2 drones in addition to the few larvae that he's killed. Well, I guess this is technically the one that killed some larvae off, but not a lot of damage as of yet. All right, not bad, not bad. So 5 drones only as of right now. Yeah, not huge, but I mean, 5 is something at least. All right, so it is the Twilight, Forge, and Robo all together as we kind of expected here. Oracle gonna have to help out against these Lings, kind of annoying. And it is a +1 melee attack here from Solar. That's like very popular right now against these Stargate openers. It can definitely give you a little bit of power with those Zerglings, but it's more so to rush up to +2 so that your Banelings one-shot probes. Which, you know, I've been mentioning this a lot lately, and I did do a big video. Ooh, he lost the other Oracle. That's painful. I did do a big video on the proposed StarCraft 2 patch that's going to come out. It's one of the biggest patches ever. And I think one of their biggest changes, one of the best changes in it, is they're not going to allow Banelings to one-shot workers anymore. They're going to change the way the upgrades work on them. There's a pretty big set of nerfs to the Baneling, which I think is fantastic, because the Baneling is the best unit in the game, basically, other than the Viper. But, really would be looking forward to that. I think it's so silly when we have these close, nice games, and then like 2 Banelings get past your defense and kill all the probes. And it's like, oh, I guess you're better than me, LOL. So, right now, Trigger... Oh, wait. I wasn't really paying attention because I saw the right buildings that played into what I was talking about, right? Where it's like, okay, I think here we're going to see, you know, Blink. He's been playing purely against Ling so far, and he's decided to opt for Charge +1 and Archon. This is not common at all, what we're seeing from Trigger. He is making Disruptors as well, so those can actually do well against Queens and against any possible Roaches that do end up coming out. But this is just not a very common play that we see. You can't really put consistent micro-based pressure on Zerg with something like this. What you can do is look for a weak point and punish it. But that's a little bit harder. Zerg has to have made a mistake. Like, you can go Blink Stalkers against a mistakeless Zerg, and they're going to do fine. Right? They're going to grind a certain amount because they just are one of the best micro units out there. Zealots are not that at all. Zealots, if your opponent is playing just right, are just not going to find any damage. So, yeah, we'll see what he gets done with that. Now, mutas are being made here from Solar. And the mutas, yeah, they should do pretty darn well. Our anti-air here is lacking, to say the least. 2 Archons. And that's it. I don't believe there's even a cannon, so... This could end up being a bit problematic. All right, the +1 Zealots, of course, doing very well against those Zerglings. Out come the mutas. There are 4 Archons now. Maybe a counterattack is going to be what is called for here. Okay, he does have a cannon there at least. Yeah, coming after another Disruptor. Ooh! Oh, he does get it. Zealots going on the counterattack. Archon's actually coming home to fight. So he does warp in a fair amount of Stalkers here. It's better to lose a few Stalkers than every probe you have. But look at that. There's enough of everything. Trigger is absolutely bodied this game. This game is basically over. Just absolutely bodied. Look at this. The Archon's having the hardest time in the whole world getting back here to this Nexus. Even if he kills all those mutas, look at the supply differential. 175 to 110. It's insanity. Well, that's a very good Disruptor ball. Ling's coming up, and oh god, still so much going wrong here for Trigger. So much. You know, he does have 4 base, so you may as well play it out and see what you can get done still. In the meantime, there is a 5th hatch up for Solar, but he doesn't really have that much going on there. So you know what? Like I was saying the game's over, but since it is like a 4 base, like if he had just 3 Nexuses here, I would lose complete interest in the game from here. Because I wouldn't see any path back. But honestly, when you have 4 bases as Protoss, in PvZ specifically, you can kind of get everything you want. You can get anything with Protoss at this point, right? So, you know, he's making some more Disruptors here. He has a fair amount of Archons. I mean, Archon Disruptor already counters a lot. So his defense is going to continue to be, or start to be, really good. So far it's been a little bit weak because of the mutas. All right, Stasis Ward catching a bunch of Ravagers here. That's a nice little catch. If he can time out his Disruptor balls, it's going to be amazing. Oops. I feel like these Zerg players have a Steve Urkel voice. Like, did I do that? As they blow up all of your workers with the Banelings that they right-click that costs a half supply. All right, Banelings coming out. All right, I mean, that's a good hit right there. And these Banelings not going to do very much, but Already he has taken some pretty big damage from the Veins. Looks like we're still going to have Solar here pressing forward. Trying to take out this base. This third base standing strong. Standing strong still. And, you know, Trigger still has a good probe count. Like 67 probes is good. That's like 3 full bases saturated. Now here comes that Baneling speed. He does have the +2, don't forget. So, I mean, any probes that get touched die. Mia's going to just try to right-click them into that mineral line. Looks like he will block right there. And Solar backs up. Actually, I'm not sure that Solar really had to back up right there. Like, Disruptor Balls are the only thing that really counters Army here. The Disruptors are coming up, getting ready for their recharges. A little bit more Baneling harassment here. Oof, could have saved that. Gotten sick damage. Yeah, good Disruptor hits. Ooh, very, very good. Disruptor's such a strong counter against the Ravager. Such a strong counter. But now Ling's just flowing in. It feels like Trigger just can't... He's been on the back foot since the Mutas got there, right? He did this very weird charge lot opener. The charge lots couldn't do anything. And then the Mutas came, and it's like, oh man, just nothing is going right. Interestingly enough, it looks like he's been very cost efficient thus far. Solar does have those additional 2 hatches. Hasn't really been mining from them that much. More Lings, more Banes on the way. Yeah, Solar going to be rolling in and killing a lot of workers right now. What can you do? Yeah, more and more damage. Looks like that Nexus should go down as well. I do think, yeah, we should be seeing that GG. A little bit one-sided there. A little bit one-sided. Not what we're used to from Trigger. Wayne 2.0's creator? That's wild. I wish we had caught that. That's wild. Because Creator is actually the best PvZ in the world. He beats pretty much everyone in the matchup. So that's amazing by Wayne. Would love to have seen that. All right, we're going to game number 2. So I just saw someone in the chat quote a laser. High-level Protoss players never lose to mid-level players. Quotes like that are really interesting. And then you try to take something like Creator losing to Wayne and point it out. But I'm not saying I necessarily agree with exactly what a laser has said with that. But different races do have different volatilities. I'm going to use the obvious one, and not just because I'm Artosis, but this is like just a fact. That, like you can see, for instance, in StarCraft 1, you'll see Protoss players that are 500 MMR lower than Terran players beat them. You will literally never see a Terran player 500 MMR lower than a Protoss player even put a scratch onto them. Not even a fucking scratch. They won't kill anything. They won't be able to do anything. So, like, the different races have different volatilities. I remember there was this one tournament that was really poorly run where they did best of 2 matches. And I told them going in, this was like in 2020 they did this tournament. And there were different tournaments for different regions. But it was like they were doing best of 2. So it was like a Swiss format. You were either got 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2, right? And so there was a lot on every single map. And I mentioned, I was like, this is going to destroy Terran players because there's more volatility for Terran, right? Terran can drops more maps against weak players, but still can grind it out, right? So that's why a best of 3 exists. And of course, as the tournament went on, every Terran player got completely fucking smashed. No one had enough points to advance. But yeah, there's different volatilities for different races for sure. And you know, Zerg can fuck things up early game, right? You lose a couple drones and you can get in trouble for sure. All right. What are we going to see here? Looks like it's going to be a Stargate. No Warp Gate started. There it is. So Trigger going Stargate again. But I'd like to see best of 3 in ASL round of 24. I'm fine. I'm fine with them doing what they want to do with the format. That's a very old format that they use. But yeah, I mean, less volatility is generally, I think a lot of people prefer less volatility, but you do want some level of volatility. You know what? We're going to turn this camera back on until the Oracle's out and harassing. You do want some level of volatility when watching these games as a spectator sport. That is actually important. You know, if you always had, like, it's important. I think that's a big thing where Flash is the greatest ever. His win rate is like 73% or something. Right? That's not actually that high for being by far better than everyone else. But if you look at some of these other games that have lower volatility, it's much less entertaining, I think, as a spectator sport. For many years, I don't follow Warcraft 3 anymore, but when I used to, the top 4 guys were always top 4, the next 4 guys were always top 8, the next, you know, 8 guys were always top 16, so on and so forth. Quake, I used to follow Quake 3, always the same fucking order, you know? Like, oh, what was his name? Avex or whatever, the Polish kid. Is like, oh, is he going to get 3rd or is he going to get 4th to Cypher? Ah, right? And like that is a lack of volatility. And I think that makes an esport a lot worse, honestly. I mean, as a pro gamer, you're probably pretty happy that you can just consistently always get the good rankings, but as a spectator, I don't think that's very good. So, anyways, just thought I'd bring that up. Oh yeah, different sports have different volatilities for sure. And yeah, the different races have different volatilities. Like I said, right? Like, I think that StarCraft 1 thing is very obvious, where it's like, yeah, Terrans can really lose to a bunch of shit. Anyways, so we have the Oracles flying around doing harassment. So let's take a look at this follow-up here from Trigger. Trigger is going 3rd Nexus. He has his Twilight and Forge on the way. He'll start his Robo in just a moment here. But hopefully this time it's going to be Blink and not Charge. Was not a big fan of that Charge build. It's not a very good build, honestly. Like, it's okay, though, to mix things in and try something new. You know, try to mess with your opponent some way. Oh! Look at the amount of gateways he's adding. Okay, let's see if there's something here. He is going Charge once again. This, I believe, is going to be a more aggressive play. He warps into Stalkers here. This is by design. I think what we're going to see is Zealots warped in out of any vision that Zerg can have. And he's going to try some sort of timing attack here, like a +1 charge attack. Oh, shit. Nidus Worm. Oh, that makes this whole game different. So it's going to be like a Ling Queen Nidus. And if +1 and charge were done, he would definitely smash. As is, I guess we'll see. Okay, the Zerglings eliminate a few units there. Gonna go ahead and back up. I wonder if he'll catch this first Nidus. He did just put a pylon on the edge of his base, which is going to be helpful. All right, let's see. Is he gonna react to this? Dude, he's actually losing so many Zealots to these Zerglings. Just constant Zerglings coming in right now. Okay, he's gonna be able to power that down. That's not gonna be able to finish. Another one gets started. This is a big moment, though, for Trigger to stop the first Nidus. As soon as you stop the first Nidus, your chances of holding everything go up like exponentially. It's crazy. All right, so the queen's popping out there at the front, going after this natural. Lots of transfusions already, so this is going to be pretty tough. And I mean, honestly, if you're using like a charge lot based comp here, and by the way, he's making an Archon, I would have liked to see feedbacks used first if possible. Obviously, we don't see that here. That is a lot of lings. That is a lot of queens. He's actually evacuating. This is kind of weird to see because it takes so long to evacuate. Like, he missed a ton of damage there he put out. Either way, just goes in the main base here. That is a nice stop position on those probes to screw up the lings trying to get the cannons. The Archon Zealot should do well against lings, but there's so many queens here. Yeah, I definitely want to throw down a creep tumor here as well. So good transfusions. Trigger is still holding on. It's only 40 drones for Solar, don't forget. So, like, even though this looks bad, if Trigger ends up holding, Solar doesn't have a whole lot going on at home. Like, you generally just lose. This is an all-in from Solar, for sure. I love all the cannons that we see being warped in, by the way. Against this type of rush, that is so helpful against these lings. The lings have such a hard time against this. It does look like he's going to go ahead and take down the Templar Archives. Very strong kill. Forces some more transfuses out, but we don't really see the kills that we need. All right, starting to really pick off some of these queens now as well. The Archons are doing massive amounts of damage, don't forget. What is that, like 33 a shot? Hold on, that's Brood War Archons. But yeah, look at this. Right now, these lings are not doing anything anymore. It's really the queens that are doing most of the damage. Every time the lings run in, they actually run out as well. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think Trigger might actually just take this game. If he can get some shield battery healing here on the... Yeah, look at this. He overcharges just to kill the Archons. That's a very good move there, I think. Now, here come the Banes, and the Archons actually get in front of them, which is pretty amazing. Banes turn and take out a bunch of the lots that charged up there. So that's a bit painful, for sure. Dude, this is crazy amount of queens. But the Archons are tanking like gods. He needs another shield battery, I feel like. I think if you just consistently make shield batteries, if you keep the 3 Archons alive much longer, you're going to win this game. The Archons, I can't even imagine how many kills they each have. 19, 33, and I didn't see the other one. Just crazy amounts of kills. More and more Zealots being warped in. Look at how close their resources lost are. That's crazy. They're within 1 drone of each other. They're within a probe. Yeah, the Spine Crawler's kind of hilarious here. I don't... Well, I mean, I guess it is going to get half of a shot off. Look at this now. Pushing into those queens. Dude, GG. And Trigger holds. Hey, he was actually going for his own aggressive build, which helped him out a lot there because Solar hit first. No regret. What's up, my man? Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Told my kids tonight at dinner that you were coming tomorrow. And they were excited. Especially Elise. It's like, oh, I like him a lot. Daddy, are you excited that your friend is coming over? I'm like, yeah, I'm very excited. She's like, I am too. I like him a lot. Yeah, no one's sick right now, so I think you're gonna be all right. Maeve has a little bit of a runny nose, but she's fine. Everyone's been going to school. No one's gotten sick, so. All right. We're in game 3. Solar against Trigger. We're on Babylon. All right, so, I mean, we got to wait a little bit.
What? Guy in the chat donated $3.33. I can't believe that you convinced No Regret to come visit again. First, you inflicted that monster truck show on him. Then your kids cast Plague on him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, we did do that to him. Wait until you hear the stories of what I'm going to make him do this time. We got shit planned for him right now. All right. 7X core, we're still waiting for here, guys. Still on for that hot... I don't have a hot tub yet, my man. This chat just could not get it up to the sub goal. All right, so that Cybernex core is almost finished, guys. I'm excited. Ice bath stream. Actually, my wife is thinking about getting me an outdoor ice tub. She knows I'm kind of interested in stuff like that. All right, so obviously going to be that Oracle plus a little bit of Adeptory going on. But, you know, how much damage will he get, as always, and then what is the follow-up? Because twice now he's gone charge and +1. The only reason he won the second game is because there was a very aggressive play that came at him, and he had the right types of units and the right amounts of units to have a chance to hold it. You know, maybe he'll go for it again, because he definitely thinks that there's something to it, considering after he got wiped in game 1, he did it again. But he didn't get to utilize it in the way that you're looking to utilize it when you start to do the build, right? You don't do the build and say, well, if he all-ins, I'm going to hold it, right? That would be a terrible way to play. So, Oracle going across the map. Additional gateway coming up, getting ready to take his third base location right now. Only one drone and takes pretty heavy hull damage there. They're gonna want to turn around. Oh my god, almost loses his Oracle, man. Oh, that's painful. That is super, super painful. Another Oracle gonna try to get in here and get some damage. There's a drone being made at that third base, so maybe he'll be able to snap that one. Yeah, gets it. Okay. So, I mean, that's one. He's killed, what, 2 drones only so far? All right, that back Oracle is freeing itself. Third Oracle is coming up as well. Unable to secure another kill. Hey, there you go. There you go. That's the one. Ah, he was so close on both those. Dude, he's actually almost performing miracles right now. So 6 drones total and 1 Zergling. So it is going to be Blink. It is going to be +1, adding those 4 gates as well. Going to definitely see some pressure coming out of Trigger. And it is more roach-heavy play coming out of Solar. I wonder if he's thinking, hey, is this going to be one of those charge lot openers? It's not. I like Trigger here. For what I'm seeing on both sides, I'm liking Trigger's position. He's seeing some roaches pop. This is not a very high drone Solar. Like, dude, he's only on 50 drones. Okay, Queen's coming across the map. He is making, well, that's not exactly a Queen highway, but like at least a little bit of creep in there. Look at this. Comes up, sees exactly what's coming. Now he can throw down more shield batteries, maybe some photon cannons. A lot of shield batteries on the way. See what he's able to do. Solar very, very all in right now. Definitely needs some heavy damage. Wow, that stasis ward actually doing serious work at the natural, making an additional wall. So Solar does have to attack into this third base location. Oh my god, those vials were really incredibly good. Incredibly good vials. Very surprised there was no blink away there. I don't think it was off cooldown. Kind of weird to see. Okay, does blink back here. Everything kind of going a little bit wrong here at the beginning. It's been pushed very far back. We're going to back up that sentry. Does not want that out there just to die. Going to probably need that later for a counterattack towards that main. Now, he is stuck in this mineral line pretty badly, which means that any biles are very good right now. We don't really see the biles coming out. Okay, there you go. Throws a few more down, and he had just blinked there, so might have been off cooldown, but does feel like he's taken a little bit more than he should. More biles getting hit. Look at this, picking off some of the queens. The probe count has dropped, but that's not necessarily end of the world here for Trigger. Just holding this, like he killed how many queens? It was like 8 queens or something. You know, Solar was on 50 drones all the time, so they're kind of similar as far as that worker count. But don't forget, you can consistently build workers as Protoss and build units. So from here, he's going to want to counter pressure. That's incredibly important. He has to be across the map. He has to be pushing. He has to be making sure that Solar can't just drone up as he wants. Because, you know, Solar right now, if he could just make nothing but drones and just sit there knowing he's not going to be attacked, he would get way, way ahead. So what Trigger wants to do is make him make units while Trigger's making probes. And that is what we should be seeing. He did move up for a moment, moved back. And yeah, I wonder suddenly, is he going to get up there? Okay, here he goes. Bringing the Observer. Yeah, going to clear this little creep highway that was made. Little Ling counterattack coming up towards this third. Good defense right there. Single Immortal and bunch of Zealots. Now, this doesn't have to do damage. See? Ooh, that's actually a great catch from Solar. A great catch from Solar. But yeah, these moves that we see Trigger doing don't have to do damage. It's actually better to get out and keep your units alive. But look, Solar has only gained 5 workers since his attack began, and Trigger remade 15. So that's like a huge difference. So now if he holds this, I mean, that's going to be amazing. Although this does look very hard to hold. Those Zealots do not have charge. He's only got 1 Immortal. Colossus is coming out. I'm not sure the Colossus is going to do that much. I guess he'll do well against those initial Lings at least. Archon getting picked very, very quickly here. That Immortal may be part of the key to victory if he's going to be able to hold this. But the amount of Ravagers in here, the Bile's going to be very scary. Yeah, landing some Biles there in that mineral line. And GG is called. So good push there from Solar.